Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Spirit Inside. My name is Diann Henry, and this is my brother Steve Henry. And we are exploring the journey from the outside world back to the inside in freeing your spirit. Take a listen and let's see what you think. Okay, Steve, you can go.
Well, hello there again. Can you hear me good through my disguise?
Yes, I can hear you good.
Okay, well, thank you. I have to wear my disguise. Okay, now, we will know the name of your thing is what? What's the name?
Spirit Inside.
Okay, and the purpose is?
The purpose is to help others find their way back inside of themselves.
Exactly. Now, all that will be explained, not in the next graph, but the one after that. That will show you the way in. This ain't no religious program. Ain't none of that no good. And this ain't nothing nobody else knows. Ain't nothing you can do with nobody. Like I say, we are a world full of individuals. You see all of these things because they're different, because different people bring them from their dreams. The people who live their dreams, they are living their dreams. The dreams are a motion picture. You don't remember having dreams as a kid. You can't live in no one else's dream. But once you get called out, anyone calling you outside of your own skin, they're on the opposite side of inside of your skin. Because nothing can change. Once the first day of the week is laid out there, it can't ever erase. Life go along like a video recorder, the dreams you be dreaming in. When you don't move on that day will never exist again. And when you're looking back 5 minutes ago, you can never see right now. Come. The only time, and I also slip and say come because I write that thing for my daughter. It's probably the longest thing on the social media. I don't type a damn letter. I talk. And the technology we use is sent to you to make everything right in the palm of your hand. But if you don't know it, because you've been studying the backside of the graph of the indigenous people, it can't change. You got to put all of that away. See this graph on the very back of the graph. Now the graph is made just for our purposes to teach through it now. But it's 144,000 all the way around. On the back side of it is opposite the gate. That's where they started. And it spread it out from there, coming all the way around back to the front side. And the gate is that right in the center. That's the gospel truth of Christ. Now, when you get that spirit inside of you, all the things in the circle is open to you. Without that spirit, you only in 4, 5, or 6 of them. You can't see no more than that without adopting the spirit of Christ. Then all of them are yours. Remember how we do it. I can go from any one of us. We can go from one side to the other. We can go back to King David days, which is on the back side, but we'll all be there together in this spirit. Without being in this spirit, which is the gospel truth of Christ, you won't be able to see it. But everyone in it, we walk right together. When we say 2 + 2 = 4, we all see the same thing, but the people who don't have it in the spirit, they can't see it. But when we leave away from this one, it's always there. This is not anything that you got to guess about. Once you look at it and visualize it, it's always inside of you. When you walk away, you never have to look back. But it has to be referred to, just like refer back to graph 1 or refer back to graph 2. So the individual, because, when you're in school, you see everybody don't get it at the same time. And some don't get it. But everybody eventually do. You feel me? And your thing is the things you see from here, you use them inside of you. You don't go out and send your buddies to something you don't know nothing about. Because the spirits are inside of you. And if you disrespect them, Ain't nothing I can do about it. All the things are out there with you. But if you don't use them yourself, it was like with my sister Diann, when I was talking to her about building your own house inside. And I referred her to a verse in the Bible, but we don't do verse. Each chapter is a story being told, someone talking to someone else about what they see. So I prefer you get one you can listen at the New King James Version. And it's the 14th chapter of St. Luke. And I think it's around about the 25th verse is the one I would point out to emphasize on. But listen to the whole chapter. The spirit the one was in when he wrote the book, it's talking to you, not to the preacher, not to me, not to your mom, but to you now. You clear your path and do whatever you do, you get high, get it, whatever. None of that don't count that they talk about. What's good for you? And you listen to that undisturbed and let it talk to you. And apparently, it must work. It seemed to kind of put a little change in my sister, so I decided to make it up. Wouldn't you say that's correct? Diann, did you feel it? Does that mean you're on mute or something?
Yes, I was attempting to. Well, I'm supposed to be able to talk to you if I press my space bar, but apparently that doesn't work if I'm on one screen. So, okay, that's fine. I know that now. But yes, it was the answer to the question.
Okay, well good. So what was the chapter with the foot we was talking about when you put the seed in the ground? In other words, when you start the journey, you can't be looking back. You ain't got no problem. When you start it, you in a window. Don't look back in that window. When you start doing this, don't try to take it outside because you can't. Leave them out there. Once you find something inside of yourself, that you can show. But you can't believe nothing because how you going to believe you know where the numbers are? How you going to assume you know where the numbers are? Everything is exactly in its own place. Can't nothing move. Every time you go to 3 + 3 = 6, it's going to be right there. It can't go nowhere else. But if you don't find the whole addition doctrine, you can't go out and show it to no one. Because you don't know who it's for. It's for the ones that got ears to hear it. You know, and all of those things you see Christ say when he's talking to you, he said, and it's for him with ears to hear. And the meaning of that is, if Michael Jordan starts speaking in the classroom, all of the people ain't going to be interested in what he got to say. And then Taylor Swift can go in there and all the people ain't going to be interested in theirs because they got only the ones of that character who's going to be stuck to them. But in every crowd, from that character, the wrestler stand up. They going to have people who follow the wrestling. And to them, it looked true. And anything conservative is in the book. You learn from the book. You don't follow the book. They do the 1, 2, 3, 4. When you see it, you do the 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't keep studying the 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody tell you any otherwise, you know, you and them both on the wrong side of the fence. Wouldn't you agree? But anyway, let's get off of this. The tree of life, this spread, it ain't never going to change. And once you see it, it's inside of your little children. We're going now on the other side of the Christ thing. This is the Christ thing. The tree of life. Gospel truth of Christ. Everything comes from there is true. It can't move. Everything is in whatever King David done or whoever done it. It's on the back side. It's right there. It can't move to this front side. We're on the gate side now. That's why he talked about when this When the master of the house stand up and shut the door, ain't no need being outside saying what you done, because you got to be inside of yourself. Can't nobody make anything on the outside for no one else. But like I say, we're going to move away from this one, but it's always there. It's inside of your children. It's in the dreamland, but it's complete. And we're going down to this next one. This is the spirit of the truth. Now, anyone who go down this path, let's say, for instance, instead of being the alphabet vowel noun, this was counting, addition, subtraction, multiplication, those 12 steps of the foundation of the mathematical doctrine, a number doctrine, whatever it's called. They are the truth to everyone who go down it. But let's say if you stop at addition, what can you know further down the line, Diann? If you stopped at addition, you're a math teacher, right? If you learned where the counting is located, and you learned where the addition is located, when you had to take 2 away from 6, would you know what to do?
No.
Well, why would you not know that?
Because you haven't learned that yet. It hasn't been revealed.
You don't learn it. You have to see it. It has to be revealed to you. I never learned it in school, but when I learned to count and all that kind of stuff from Mama, when I was young, I always knew you know the things inside. You don't know that stuff outside. But when you know it inside and you see it outside, you know exactly what it is. But when you find out what it is on the outside first, they won't change away from it because they believe they know what it is on the outside of themselves. Do you agree or disagree? Do you see it? If you believe what you heard rather than what you see inside, I mean, I don't see how can you not know that's kind of backwards, right?
Well, yes, but I think that most of us, if you're not aware of, of that, then, you think you're right,
Well, think about it. Can you think of one occasion where you can be outside of your skin?
I cannot.
Okay, now, if anything for you, and it's on the outside of your skin, do you see any kind of way that it maybe can possibly get in there some kind of way?
Say that again.
If you find something on the outside of your skin and you claim it to be yours, do you see any pathway possible that it can enter inside of your heart?
Well, only if it is revealed to you.
All right, but it has to be revealed to you where? Inside of me or out there in the world or inside the church or where?
Inside of you.
On the inside of your heart. That's why a good man, he brings good things from where? Inside his heart, right? And the evil man, he brings the evil things from where? From inside of his heart, right? So what can you bring from the outside or from someone else?
Nothing.
They call you the one you for a reason. You know what that reason would be?
Say,
They call you the pronoun you for that reason. Do you know what that reason might be? Because it's you. Can they call your child or your mother or your father, your sister, your brother, anybody else you? We're working with that gospel truth there. If you don't see it inside, can you know it or can you not?
No, you can't.
Okay, now can anyone stop you from going away from addition to get subtraction when you have stopped it? Because you can understand it then because you know the numbers and you know that the addition, so you can see they move from that place. It's like the alphabet. You can't do the vowel before the alphabet because you got to find the alphabets inside of you first. You can't hear them and say, hey, I see them. No, you have to practice them. When you practice them, that window opens up inside of you. Inside of you is that graphic. When you go into one of those character doctrines, it just repeats itself. It's opened up again with all the spiritual doctrines in it, but instead of having 144,000, it has 12 for the foundation. And once you get the foundation inside of that, the whole thing opened up to you. It's like the numbers, it goes on forever. Everything inside, it continues. In order for you to bring something to the world, you got to bring it from inside of this area that I got here on the street. But it's inside of you. You can't make nothing. Everything is just like the numbers. It's already stacked up. From the inside, you see which model you can bring out. Now, it's harder. You won't be able to go back if your window has closed. How can it open again? If you don't use it, it's got to close for the next generation to bring what you should have. But when you know these things, and you take the children and you let them go through the same things you went through, when you can simply show them when they're young to move on what you got out of it. You understand what I'm saying? My mama showed me what she got out of it. But being on the inside, I watched all the rest of y'all, and the rest, it looked backwards to me what they doing, but instead they say I'd be backwards because I didn't do it with them. But I never let that faze me, because the people you out playing with in the street, I was playing with the ones on the inside. Because the ones on the inside is the ones that's true, because every day the ones on the outside change. Then I go away for a little while and come back, and they all like little children. So I don't know what to do. You can't turn away from yourself to be with nobody else. On the outside of you, does that make sense to you? But I only can speak with you because you're the only one I can talk to. Now, the rest of them is crazy. But do you think it's crazy?
No.
Because the man is a math teacher. The math don't lie. If you can't see it on the inside first, it's this way. I don't care who you are. You cannot put two words in an order that you've never seen before. Do you think you can? Diann, can you put two words in an order that you've never seen before? When you get ready to say something that you never said before, you have to think of how you're going to see now. Well, you heard of that before, right? Because you can't see it. It's nothing about learning. It's got to be revealed to you. If you've never seen a phrase or heard a phrase, how are you going to put it in order? It don't exist. But on the inside, all the things are already in place. You can see them. They're there for you to see. They're yours. Everything is yours. But there's a trick to it. If you went in one of those windows, let's say the language, and you stayed there, could you experience all those other things?
No.
Okay, now if you went in this character doctrine, if you made it as far as division and you stayed there, could you ever experience in that same character, algebra, geometry, calculus, could you experience that if you stayed in division?
No.
But if you move through all of them and you see any of the problems that come across your eyes, do you have to figure out what ants is? It's just like the numbers. You practice on the 300, but 88,057 passed by every one of us. We know exactly what it is, and we've never practiced 400. That don't tell you something with that learning something to hold on to on the outside? They don't make it appear a little bit backwards? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been inside of myself. I deal with people, but you have the expression from the Bible, you have to be in the world, but not of the world.
Yeah, I've heard it.
You know what that means?
I'd
be out in the world every day in every kind of situation. But you ain't gonna I ain't gonna sit out there and wait with you to do nothing. Because life is a continuing journey. It's unfolding every day. You do something today, tomorrow is still what you're doing, but it's done. The clock done ticked away, and it's only right now. Anything you don't do right now. See, whatever, like I was telling you in this thing, I know you don't know it. You can't see it. But right now, you and I talking. And by seeing this thing over and over, it's practicing it right. And it's going to always be there. It's inside you. That's why I'm so proud of that little picture you made up of it. Because it's the concept that I see inside, but it's beautiful. But what you've done there is, we're just doing this as a point of illustration, but it's beautiful. You can only do that from the inside. And if I like it, it's good. So I want to thank you for that. Your creative skills, you and however you done it, you brought it. So now let's go back to that one down. Know the truth.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, Kai.
Say hi. Say hi.
Say hi.
She can't see who she talking to. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Now, we can. Do I need to leave some room for you to say something? Because I don't keep up with the clock.
No, I'm good, but I'm listening. Interacting.
We're not at the same place, and it kind of. I don't want to run off and not hardly know where you are. You don't have like a little comment or two, because my thing here is to show my sister. I can't think of another person in the world I can be showing it to. We always do one by one. But if you see something, you leave a trail behind you. That's what the whole nature of the thing is. I'm going to show you. I can't show no one but you, because we all different. We all see things differently. But together we see the whole thing. Do you know what I mean by that part? The world is like we all be at a football game. If you're sitting across from me, when the people are close to me, they far away from you. When the player's on the right, it's on your left. We all see it from a different perspective. But together, we got it pinned right down. But by using the narration of the commentators and the camera to go on the court, we all see the exact same thing. You feel me? Because we sharing it through that same spirit that comes from that. All those cameras and technology stuff, all this stuff is here for you to use. But if you don't find it in that box of the characters inside of yourself, how are you going to use it? How are you going to use this Zoom stuff without finding it? And everyone who find it, they be using it from the same character, right?
Right.
But a different perspective. One show football and the other show, everybody show what they're doing. That's what we do here. We see different things inside, and our thing is to show our dreams to the others. But you can only show the dreams that come from one place. That circle there, the gospel truth of Christ. You're sharing Christ when you're sharing your story. Not the story that you made up. The story that edifies people and lift them up and give them hope and life. Not the one that send them back for profit. Does that make sense to you? God's gonna give you something that somebody else gonna sell to you. And you think that's gonna be some good? You really think? Well, we all different. But let me not take up all the time. Let's get this your page. But we got to slow around. We got to introduce the graph before we take off. But we ain't no camera. We want people to know the truth. Because it's the truth that will set you free from being bound by the things that you've been told. You agree or disagree?
Agree.
Because everything you know on that chart down there, can't nobody trick you with, right?
Right.
But the things that you don't know, the opposite is true, right? But let you get some talking. I talk so much. I feel my weed. You know how that works.
Well, it's actually better for you to do the talking because, once again, I am listening and internalizing and, going through a process of growth of some sort.
Okay, well, I mean, but I kind of need to. I'm not there with you, and I don't want to go too fast away from you. I don't want to go too slow away from you. But it's on you. The things has to unfold. Well, you're not familiar with my Facebook page. That's in another totally different character. But but it's there and it's free, and only for the people who have the ears to hear it, they'll be drawn to it. You can't. You have to be drawn to something, or you can't see it. The Spirit of God is inside of you. It will draw you, but if you don't know it's there, what good will it do? You don't do nothing with no advertising. You're advertising to sell. But if you build your life here on earth, you can't be in both places. What good will it do when you need to be inside and you got to take care of something outside? That makes sense to you?
That would make no sense.
Because the two ways, they won't mix. You are to live out in the world, but be on the inside of yourself where you can see how to make something better outside. You can't see it by being out in it. But I'm dead serious. You come inside and you say, how come people can be so blind? And then you turn to the radio or the TV and you hear how they're being taught to believe a lie. And they really believe it. They're warring over King David's religion. King David needs his own religion. They are all here. The spirits of every person ever been that's done something or written something, they're here. It's only the ones vanish away that don't do anything. Who do their things on the outside. He didn't leave his story. But the one left his story, that spirit is always here. You know that, right? How you gonna get rid of Michael Jackson's spirit? It's inside the hearts of people. But there are many people been in the grave since Michael Jackson has never vanished away. You know that? There's got to be something that hadn't happened nowhere else to like George Floyd. He ain't done nothing. But you'll never get rid of the spirit. It's gonna always be. Because it shocked the consciousness of the people. Once it's done that, it's gonna always be there. And it was the things have to happen on the inside first. Nothing can happen outside. Do you think 2 + 2 = 4 can just show up outside?
No.
From the inside, it has to be set out there. Everything do. And when it's not set out there, that person fade away because they didn't do their thing. Anyway, what we looking like on the time? You look like you're trying to tell me to shut up.
I was about to say that in this final 1 minute, you want to sum up, the gist of today's lesson?
Well, the thing is to talk. Because whatever it is, anybody practice. Whatever it is, if you practice it, you're going to get good at it, whether you intend to or not. And everything that you don't practice, how you going to do it? And if you're going to go in and start playing your daughter's piano, you can't go in there trying to play no song. Listening for the song to play, you follow your ears. You don't follow your ears. You listen to your fingers on the key. Because the music is like everything else. It's always going on all the time on the inside of you in the window. And once they line up to what's already happening, you play like everybody else. And you can swap from one to the other because you be inside of the character. But if you go in there trying to play what you heard, it's not like trying to find God and all that kind of stuff that you heard. You ain't never gonna find it. It's inside of you, constantly rolling like the airplane. You don't have to go and invent a plane in order to rise through in the channel. It's already going. It's only work for you when you own it, but it's still going all the time. Anyway, you better cut me off because I love to talk. When we gonna do it again?
Well, I do have a couple of appointments tomorrow, but we can talk about that later, okay? Anyway, maybe it's sometime later on in the afternoon or earlier in the morning. So.
Can I say one other thing?
Sure.
I don't know if you notice or not, the clock is ticking, and it's sun. It should look out the window. It should look like it's. You been, the door got to be open to come back inside because it's can't nothing change or move. You see the storm coming, and you was told that there was a storm gonna be coming, and if you ain't prepared to go back inside, you know what that means. So anyway, you good because you see the light, but think about others. If you want to be the greatest out of all the people on the planet, you must first be what?
The least.
The servant of them all.
Yeah.
Peace.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time and your input, and look forward to the next opportunity. You have a good day.
Peace.
Peace.
I'm good. Bye-bye.